Nature Seekers is an NGO that was formed in 1990 because of the extensive slaughtering of leatherback turtles on Matura Beach. We had partnered with the Forestry Division, mainly the wildlife section, to take care of a dilemma that occurred on a nightly basis. Leatherback turtles were being killed in large numbers. When you go down on Matura Beach was real unappealing, unattractive. Sometimes when you go down, you see a turtle with just a few pounds of shoulder meat missing. Slaughtering is a thing of the past. We no longer have any killing on Matura Beach because we are there every night. Our season officially starts on the 1st of March and ends on the 31st of August. We have thousands of visitors that are now visiting Matura Beach to see these rituals. We have now been collecting a lot of scientific data where we tag our turtle. Community residents are now become stewards of this resource. Our goal is to improve the standard of living in our community and to educate visitors and people about our resources, our natural resources. We plant back forested areas that was deforested by forest fires, moving from a big paradigm shift from kill and eat, and to show the economic benefit of turtles, of our forests, because we use these natural resources where we can do eco-tours, creating added and supplement income for our residents in our community. I have been in Nature Seekers for as many as 27 years. When you hear KFC, you know chicken, you hear Nature Seekers, you know about the turtles, you know about the environment. These are the people that is identified with making a difference and creating long-term and meaningful relationship.
The story of the Field Naturalists Club begins back in 1891, July 10 to be exact. This year marks the 125th anniversary of the club. To this day, our membership numbers in about 250. We see more and more physical publications being phased out, so that's one of the things that we're going to have to deal with in the years to come. Squatting, illegal quarrying, unregulated land development, and we have to resort to some creative ways to doing it, but that's one of the challenges of running an organization in terms of finding a way to deal with these challenges. So a big part of what we do is publications. We document a lot about the history of the country and the natural environment, take an interest in the birds in your backyard and in the wildlife, just in the plants and trees around you. You don't have to have any special qualifications to be a naturalist, to be somebody who's interested in preserving the environment. When you have a natural interest we try to put as many of our lectures online on YouTube as possible, so that's another avenue for people to be engaged with the club. Being on Grand Takara Beach at night, I didn't really get the opportunity to be out in a lonely forest on the north coast at night, and here I was, 1 o'clock in the morning in the forest, and we were doing an insect survey. So you're there in isolation with 1 or 2 members, and it's the sound of the waves coming in, the sounds of the forest behind you. My dream for the club would be to really see the club take its place as the premier source for education on the natural environment in Trinidad and Tobago, and really push that spirit of appreciation for the environment, and really try and inculcate that in everybody. Because if we can do that, if we can make everybody appreciate the natural environment, then we've taken a very big step towards conservation. And that would be my main goal and main wish for the club in the years to come.
The El Socorro Center for Wildlife Conservation is now located in Freeport, and it's a much more natural environment and setting for the animals. Challenging a bit first because of the remoteness, but we quickly adapted. The center is an all-volunteer organization. Eventually, we hope to be able to hire staff, so we will be able to have dependable personnel to do animal care and certain administrative duties in the center. We exist in a country where there is no legislative framework for our existence. In other words, we're not even legally existing in this country. They have different ways they find out about us. We have our website, we have our Facebook page, our number is out there, different programs, our television and radio appearances, we put our numbers out there, and people would call. We take in all animals, from reptiles, so we have snakes, we have lizards, we have like caimans we rescue all the time. Sometimes they need rehabilitation before they release. Various birds, and we've trained at least 60 persons in basic wildlife rehabilitation. One of the longest patients we've had is for about 1 year and 6 months. That's a pelican. And we got it to fly, we got it to hunt, we got it to learn and accept water, and we got it to go back into the wild. That was one of the most exciting things we've had here at the center. We may not have too much longer at this particular location. We're looking for a permanent home, and then again looking for permanent homes for the 6 other centers we intend to set up throughout the country. Our work goes from computer work, IT work, all the way to medicinal, clinical. The center this year is celebrating 11 years as a center. We started off as an education center, and then we were encouraged to get into wildlife rehabilitation. So we got into wildlife rehabilitation about 6 years now, and we've been a registered NGO for the past 6 years. So for that period of time, we are fully registered. We just need to bear in mind, without these animals, without the environment, we will not survive. We will not be capable of survival. You need to like these animals and leave them alone. Let them do what they do naturally. And we all have to find that synergy, that symbiotic relationship to live together on one planet, Earth.
Azurite Nature Center was established in 1967. The primary objectives of the trust are to preserve part of the Arima Valley in perpetuity for the benefit of the flora and fauna. Research into conservation-related research for the benefit of conservation in other areas, and education. We run a lodge, a 26-room lodge. We're able to take in visitors who stay at the lodge, and we take them on tours and show them the natural history of Trinidad. This is reasonably remote in the Arima Valley, so that our guests that stay there or come up for the day, it is all-inclusive. We have a kitchen and dining room, and we serve 3 meals a day for the resident guests, and local guests could come up and have lunch or dinner. As all environmental organizations have the challenges of the day, because as we all know, we're facing a lot of environmental challenges in Trinidad and the world. The major challenges will always remain that of funding. We're confident that our day visitors and our resident guests have a very good experience at Azurite. We get good reviews on TripAdvisor. Perhaps somewhat unique among the non-governmental organizations in Trinidad who are interested in conservation, in that we have the land assets as well as the lodge, which serves as a very useful foundation for providing the education and conservation activities, so that many organizations can talk about the conservation, but we could actually implement it on the ground by improving the habitat, looking after the animals. We project the cave at Azurite with the oil birds, and we have many visitors from various parts of the world who come to walk on the trails, and they enjoy what they see. And so we really want to encourage as many people in Trinidad who do have an interest in conservation of wildlife to join Azurite as a friend of Azurite and add to the human resource that we have available to conservation.
So I got an offer from Lodge Paddock and I snatched it up. So I started working here about 4 years ago. So dealing with people was the hardest part, especially when it comes to exotics, because you have absolutely no history. And every time you ask them a question, you have to wonder if it's true or not. I have an excellent team to work with, so they're always very helpful, and they help you along with anything that I had. But one of my greatest challenges was trying to get that client communication and relating to people. I deal with animals and dogs and cats, and I don't have to deal with people primarily. I come to work every day, and everything that I do, it doesn't feel like a labor, because I enjoy it. So I can work 12-hour shifts or on call or whatever it is, and I enjoy it. I've spent 5 years in veterinary school, One of my first surgeries that I've done is when Detta came to me and was like, hey, there's this bird with a broken wing, do you want to do the amputation? I was like, well, I kind of now started. I don't know if I can do, surgery like that. And she's like, no, go ahead, you can, use it to learn. And the other doctors was like, sure, you can go ahead and do it. We'll be right over your shoulder and we'll tell you if, what you need to do. So at this point in time, we have one veterinary clinic where we operate through Mocraft Road. We have 7 of us here that work through the clinic, and we all work on rotation and shifts. Excellent team in terms of our staffing. And I think that's one of the reasons I really enjoy coming to work here. So definitely I think we have an awesome team here to work with.
My name is Mike Rutherford and I'm the curator of the University of the West Indies Zoology Museum. I first started here in January 2010, so it's been in Trinidad and Tobago just over 6 years now. Along with my team of technicians in the museum and a team of volunteers and interns, we've been cataloguing, identifying, processing and looking after all these specimens, the internet for anyone to search to find out more. But we've still got probably another 50, 60,000. So the museum's located on the University of the West Indies St. Augustine campus. We have thousands of school kids come as part of organised campus tours each year, and coming to the Zoology Museum is always a highlight for the children. Everything in here is dead, it's a museum, not a zoo, and everything in here is real. Launching and running an annual BioBlitz. This is an event where we gather scientists, naturalists, enthusiasts to come and survey a particular part of Trinidad and Tobago. We're heading into our 5th year, and this year we're going to be heading to Port of Spain. We send out information in the form of newsletters, quarterly bulletins, social media using Facebook, using YouTube. And so I've been very lucky in my time to have gone from being a student to being a research associate. We've got a specimen in the museum. I can show them, compare what they've got with what we've got. One of the biggest aims I've had as part of the Zoology Museum is to get as many other groups involved as possible in the BioBlitz projects and museum projects. I'd hope in the future that the collection becomes the National Zoological Collection. I had a millipede that I discovered in Tobago a couple of years ago, named after me, Pandarodesmus rutherfordi. I couldn't have got to this place and couldn't do what I do without the help and assistance of so many enthusiastic people. Whether it's people, members of the Field Naturalists Club, members of the Eco Divers Club, students at the university, visiting students and staff and scientists from other communities, they all come here and help me with the outreach, help me with the study, help me with the research. And it's a great privilege to have these people as a part of my life.